सबसे पहले मैं अपनी जर्नी के बारे में बताती हूँ। मैं नासिक से बिलॉन्ग करती हूँ, व्हिच इज़ इन महाराष्ट्र एंड दिस वाज़ माय थर्ड अटेम्प्ट इन यूपीएससी। तो जो मेरे फर्स्ट 2 अटेम्प्ट्स थे, उनमें मेरा प्रीलिम्स क्लियर नहीं हुआ था एंड दिस वाज़ माय फर्स्ट मेंस एंड फर्स्ट इंटरव्यू जिसमें मुझे 161 रैंक आई है। तो मेरी जो स्कूलिंग है ये इंग्लिश मीडियम में हुई है फ्रॉम रायन इंटरनेशनल स्कूल नासिक। उसके बाद मैंने अपना ग्रेजुएशन सिविल इंजीनियरिंग में किया है फ्रॉम वीर माता जीजाबाई टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंस्टीट्यूट मुंबई एंड I graduated in 2021 and thereafter I started my UPSC prep. So I'll start with prelims first. तो पहले हम बुक लिस्ट की बात करते हैं। तो बुक लिस्ट में जो अपना स्टैंडर्ड है, जैसे फॉर पॉलिटी वी हैव लक्ष्मीकांत। तो अपार्ट फ्रॉम लक्ष्मीकांत व्हाट वी नीड टू डू इज उसको सप्लीमेंट करना है विद द ओरिजिनल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, बिकॉज इफ यू सी द ट्रेंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस बीइंग आस्क्ड बाय यूपीएससी, तो काफी बार डायरेक्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के जो वर्डिंग्स है वही यूपीएससी पूछ लेता है, या ये पूछ लेता है कि एज पर द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन दिस इज गिवन। तो जब आप लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ रहे हो तो यू शुड सप्लीमेंट इट विद द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया सो दैट you'll be able to better answer the questions. फिर second is economy. So for economy, I refer to Mrunal sir's economy lectures and his notes. So the notes I purchased from Amazon. So there are two booklets which we get from Amazon. So I extensively use the first booklet, which is useful for prelims. For mains, I prepared my own notes for economy. Then for history, I refer to Pratik Nayak sir's videos for ancient and medieval and his notes. For modern, we all know that the source is Spectrum. And since less questions are being asked, so you can just even read the summary of Spectrum and then refer to the previous year questions and see what is the trend and what kind of questions could be asked. Then we have for geography, I had my class notes. I was a part of the foundation program in Vajiram and Ravi in 2021. So those notes I used. And apart from that, I supplemented it with the NCRTs of class 11th and 12th. Even for history, we have to refer the NCRTs from class 6 to 12. But there is a way in which NCRTs need to be referred. Like, suppose if you are starting with the preparation today, so don't just pick NCRT and start. The right approach is read, for example, if you're reading history, then read Spectrum first, get a overview of what modern history is all about, and then you read the NCRT of modern history, because the NCRT is thematic in nature. So you won't understand if you straight away start with NCRTs. So NCRTs can be done after you have done your basic books. Then for environment and science and tech, I did not refer to any static material. I used to read the PT 365 very selectively based on the previous year questions and the themes. Then for prelims, again, there's a question of how to do the current affairs. So for that, what I did was I referred to the current affairs. Now, how to do the PYQ analysis? So, what I did was rather than purchasing any book from the market where subject wise the PYQs are segregated, what you need to do is download the UPSC, the question papers from UPSC's website and attempt that question paper in 2 hours time limit. Like once you are done with the static important subjects like polity, economy, and geography and history, then you start attempting the questions in the 2 hour time frame, and then you see how many questions you're able to do, because some logical elimination also needs to be applied. So it is not that you will have knowledge to answer all the questions. So if you're attempting these questions in the 2 hour time frame, so you'll actually get a practice of how questions are being asked by UPSC, and rather than practicing test series, you'll also get a hang of the actual exam. So do this for every paper, at least from 2013 onwards, you do this. And then once you're done with attempting the paper, then you should just analyze every question and its options. So when you do this for 4 to 5 years question papers, you will realize that how questions are getting repeated. You yourself will be able to identify the trend, the important themes around which questions are being asked in prelims. And also you'll be able to anticipate what could be the questions that can be asked by UPSC. So this you need to do on your own. Only then you'll be able to understand it. After that, what we have is CSAT, which is very important. So for CSAT, what I did was I referred to the previous year question papers, identified what different themes are there. And one thing which is very important in CSAT is that you need that bare minimum 66, 67 marks. So for that, you need to be a little bit flexible. You cannot have this approach that I am not good at RC. So probably I'll just focus on quant and reasoning because that won't help. So you need to be good in all the three sections of CSAT, that is the quants, reasoning, and the comprehension. And once you get the CSAT question paper, then you should go through the paper in the first 5-10 minutes and you will realize which section is tougher this time. And based on that, in the first 45 minutes, you need to identify 20 to 25 easy questions. Total 80 questions are there. Identify those easy questions and attempt them in those 45 minutes or 1 hour. Now, next 1 hour you have, in that 1 hour, you have to identify other questions. If you're good in quants and reasoning, then it is good because the accuracy will be good there. So you'll be able to score with certainty in that part. But what is important for CSAT is to practice because we all know the concepts, but practicing in the exam like environment is important. Consistent practice is required. And apart from that, be good in all the three sections. And based on the paper, then you can be flexible in which section you have to attempt more number of questions. So this will be the attempting strategy. For preparation, what I did was because I have my maths optional also. So I practiced around various themes on my own. And in the last 1 month before prelims, I enrolled in the Shunya IS Rapid Revision course for CSAT. So where they give you 4 booklets and a lot of questions are there around the PYQ themes. So that helped me to practice in that last 1 month. So this is what you can do. Then coming to mains now. For mains, three things are very important. First is first take a printout of the syllabus and keep it in front of you. Go through it every alternate day. Then the PYQs, and based on these two, you have to make your own notes. So, for example, in GS1, we have a topic like regionalism or secularism. So, what you will do is type secularism on Google. You'll get any coaching's material, or if you are already a part of any foundation program, they will give you the notes on those topics. So these are your basic notes. Then you read them, then you go through the PYQs on that topic. Once you do that, you'll realize, okay, this is some additional dimension on which UPSC is asking question. So again, you try to find out answer to that PYQ. Add it in your notes. When you do that, you will realize, okay, this could be an additional dimension which can be asked by UPSC. Again, add it to your notes. So this way, for every topic of syllabus, you can prepare your notes based on the basic notes that we get in the market and then enrich it through PYQs. After that, content enrichment is the next step once your notes are prepared. So for that, there are different ways you can do that. You can refer to topper copies. So from there, maybe you can get some good examples. You can also take help of ChatGPT, or there are many enrichment materials available in the market. So that you can refer to. And from there, selectively, whatever suits you, you can take content from there. Apart from that, another way to enrich is the way you present your answers. So there can be one way in which you're just stating the fact. Another way, a better way, is to represent it through diagrams. Like you can show a bar graph or a line graph. You can draw some linear diagrams. Then the hub and spoke model. So this. Then for every topic, you should have some government schemes, some data, which you can use in your conclusion or in your way forward or some committee. So this will take care of your mains. And within the time which we get between prelims and mains, what we need to do is do the current affairs. So I would suggest that don't invest a lot of time in reading newspaper and then making notes out of newspaper in that time which we get between prelims and mains, because there every minute is very important, and now that we have very less time, like nearly 80-85 days, so we need to use it very judiciously. So for current affairs you can refer to mains 365 again selectively, because when you're preparing notes you must already have taken help of the pyqs. So based on that you yourself will realize that which topics from mains 365 are important. For IR, I completely referred to mains 365. I did not have any other notes for it. But for other subjects, I selectively used it. So you can do the same thing. And whenever you are doing preparation for mains, focus on brainstorming the PYQs or writing them and getting them evaluated, because PYQs are the best source. And based on that, you yourself should try to extrapolate what more questions on this particular theme could be asked by UPSC. This is for the 3GS papers. For ethics, I would suggest that you need to have your own notes on every topic of the syllabus, the definition, then some example from your own life, some example of a bureaucrat or some leader. Then you see the PYQ from that topic. Then you'll get an additional dimension from that topic. Sometimes the questions, previous year questions, which are asked in ethics, for example, the quotes, those could be used as your conclusion or introduction if you are able to remember it. And ethics is one such subject which can be improved only with practice. It's not about notes in ethics, it is about how you can use that minimum content in multiple questions and write them. So, the more you practice, the more you will realize how much easier it becomes the next time you write tests. So this is one part in ethics. And second is, don't lose the touch of writing ethics. What most students will do is they will start with ethics between the time that they get between prelims and mains. And then 15 days you will give to ethics. And once you're done with that, then you shift to other subject and then you lose touch of ethics. So don't do that, because by the time you're completing all the GS papers, you would have lost your touch with ethics completely. And whatever efforts you put in this initial 15 days, they will not be of any use. So keep writing ethics. At least one or two answers of ethics you should keep writing daily so that you don't lose touch of it. And another way of value addition is through the model answers of the various tests. This you should do for all the GS papers. Then is essay. So for essay, first part is content, second part is writing. So when you're preparing your notes for essay, firstly go through the previous year questions and identify some important themes. For example, women is one theme. Then there are some values around which UPSC is asking questions, like peace, compassion, integrity, then materialism. So these 10-15 values, which we already prepare notes for in ethics, but you prepare it in a more elaborate manner, like you can create some anecdote out of it. So these themes, their notes. Then you also make some anecdotes from people from different walks of life, like somebody from sports, some women, then politics, from history. So you keep these examples handy. Some fictional anecdotes could also, some fictional stories could also be kept handy. For example, one very famous is Buddha and Angulimal story. So, like this, you can have your own collection of stories, data, examples for various themes. You can also refer to topper copies. So, from there, you can borrow some anecdotes, some good arguments. So, this is the part about content in essay. Next is how do you apply that content? So, first is whenever you see any essay, first part is brainstorming. In brainstorming, you just try to understand how what can you infer? Like once you read the essay, what can you infer from it? Or what is the first thought that you get after you read the essay? Then comes what all anecdotes or examples you can use in this essay. Because when you do brainstorming, it will be very random because thoughts will be very random. So just write it down, whatever is coming to your mind. Then, when you're structuring the essay, you need to create a logical flow. So, the earlier approach of PESTLE is not working in UPSC now. We are not getting marks for that. Because what we need is whenever a topic is given, we don't need examples from different spheres to substantiate the same thing. Like if you're giving example from political, social, and economic part, but you're saying the same thing, just you're using different examples. So that is not adding any value to the essay. So the right approach is to break down the essay into micro dimensions. For each dimension, you can have two or three arguments, and then you substantiate that argument with example. So how to generate these arguments? For that, you need to ask different questions like why is it like this? How is it like this? So, coming back to this, that how are we going to generate the argument? So, whenever we see the question, तो कुछ questions पूछ लीजिए जैसे कि why is this like this? How is it like this? And जो हम end करते हैं आंसर को ऐसे को तो वहां पर हमें कुछ वे फॉरवर्ड देना है जैसे कि बहुत सारे एसेज जो होते हैं उनका वे फॉरवर्ड सिमिलर सा ही होता है जहाँ पे हम इस कंक्लूजन पे पहुंच जाते हैं कि अगर सोशलाइजेशन अच्छा होगा तो मे बी थिंग्स वुड इम्प्रूव तो उधर वो लिखना है फिर कुछ फिलोसॉफिकल कॉन्सेप्ट्स जो है जो हम एथिक्स में भी पढ़ते हैं जैसे कि निष्काम कर्म है कुछ जापानीज कॉन्सेप्ट्स होते हैं तो वो कुछ आप पढ़ लीजिए जैसे कि वो इकिगाई एंड ऑल कुछ बुक्स के नाम आप यूज कर सकते हैं ऐसे में तो ऐसे जो है इसको अगर हम एनेक्डोट से स्टार्ट करें तो उसी एनेक्डोट से वी शुड एंड इट ताकि वो कंप्लीट सर्कल बन जाए एंड कुछ वे फॉरवर्ड दे रहा है एंड bring some extra dimension into it which is not mentioned तो that will add more value and whenever आप एक पैराग्राफ से दूसरे पैराग्राफ में जा रहे हैं तो इंश्योर करें कि वो फ्लो ब्रेक ना हो तो देर आर सम कनेक्टिंग वर्ड्स जो हम यूज कर सकते हैं जैसे कि however और having said this तो ऐसे करके हम लिख सकते हैं कुछ लोगों का अप्रोच होता है कि जैसे ही एनेक्डोट खत्म होता है एनेक्डोट के बाद वो एक्सप्लेन कर देते हैं कि व्हाट इज देयर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द एसे एंड उसके बाद ही वो लिख देंगे कि सो वी विल एक्सप्लोर द एसे और फिर वहां कुछ चार पांच क्वेश्चंस लिख देंगे और फिर पूरे एसे में उन क्वेश्चंस को आंसर करेंगे वो तो आप वैसे कर सकते हो या यू कैन मेक स्मॉल स्मॉल हेडिंग्स तो मैं पर्सनली हेडिंग्स नहीं देती थी ऐसे में मैं पूरा फ्लो में क्वेश्चन आंसर के फॉर्मेट में लिखती थी उसको तो आपको जैसे भी कंफर्टेबल है आप वैसे कर सकते हो एंड जैसे द टाइम बिटवीन प्रीलिम्स एंड मेंस तो उसमें आई वुड सजेस्ट दैट राइट एटलीस्ट 4 essays so that you have a practice of it because in the actual exam दोनों essays को इक्वल टाइम देना जरूरी है अदरवाइज ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि एक ऐसे को बहुत टाइम दे दिया एंड सेकंड ऐसे लिखने के लिए टाइम नहीं बचा इस साल बहुत स्टूडेंट्स के साथ ऐसे ही हुआ है कि फर्स्ट ऐसे लिखने में 2 घंटे चले गए तो लास्ट ऐसे सिर्फ 1 घंटे में लिखना पड़ा तो टाइम मैनेजमेंट बहुत क्रूशियल है इनिशियल हाफ एन आवर आप दे सकते हो फॉर ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग। आफ्टर दैट जो बाकी का टाइम है वो दोनों ऐसे में इक्वली डिवाइड करके लिखना है बिकॉज बोथ हैव इक्वल मार्क्स।